you are still alive in Survivor, maybe not Circa, but the Survivor contest in your neck of the woods, good for you. Survivor here at Circa, 1,769 entries remain out of an original $18,718,000 an entry. Let's start with the ones that I don't think are the best choices. Colts are 5.5-point favorites hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Is there a better place to use them, though? I don't know.
Yeah.
Week 13, they host the Texans. I don't know if that's better. I don't know if you consider that better. That might even be worse to some. Atlanta's just kind of a sneaky team where it wouldn't surprise anyone if they show up on any given Sunday. And the Colts are coming off the first Danny Dimes, oh, there he is performance.
Finally.
Yeah.
My guess would be, and I believe you have some of this information, my guess would be, though, is a ton of people have used the Colts already, at least in Circa.
Kelly, you're already ahead of the game. Look at you.
That's my guess, Gill Alexander.
Look at you. Do
you happen to have any of that information handy?
So the caveat to this, though, while I don't think the Colts are one of the best plays, the caveat is that in Circa Survivor, heading into this past week, I didn't do the whole cross-section of the 200 plus that were eliminated, who had these available. I didn't do any of that.
Okay.
But headed into this last week, only 44 of the remaining entries had the Colts available.
Yeah.
So even though you may not consider, like myself, that the Colts are one of the best picks of the week in Survivor, if you're one of the 44, you may say to yourself, from a strategic standpoint, I am going to take them and hope for carnage elsewhere, because I know there aren't a whole bunch of people here who could take them with me.
Yeah, and we're also at the point, we're at the point in the season, too, right, where you have to start thinking about that type of stuff, right, and whether you're going to, Colts, if you haven't used them yet, not only are you going to have that advantage if you go this week, but really, the future value's running out.
That's exactly right.
I would be considering this more this week.
I would, if you are one of the 44, I would absolutely consider playing it. So while it gets the X, the only people that the X matters to are the people that have them.
Right.
And I think the people that have them, the strategy should actually override the X.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion on that. I threw this in just because I think as an alternate play, it's not one of the biggest favorites on the board, but the Bears are 3.5-point favorites against the Giants at home. And I'm just curious if some people were going to consider them. I would not. I would not donk off one of my survivors on the Bears, even though it's going to be tempting for some. Only other week to use them, maybe week 15 hosting the Browns, but is the Giants a better place than hosting the Browns? I don't know. Some people may say this is easier. Some people may say the Browns is easier. I just wouldn't play them. But I think a lot of people are going to be tempted by them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Colts gets an X, but the Colts really, when you look at what's left, I'm not sure it should have an X. These are the
Bears one's interesting.
The Bears one's interesting. I put it in because they're playing the Giants, and I'm like, well, that might be an alternate way of playing it as well. Here are the plays I wouldn't have any problem with y'all playing. Broncos are 9-point favorites hosting the Raiders on Thursday night. There's all kinds of stats about a team that plays overtime on Sunday just having a terrible record, especially on the road on a Thursday night. I don't think you're saving the Broncos for at Kansas City on Christmas. The only other week to use them, Kelly, would be now week 13 at Washington. I'd probably play the Broncos here.
Yeah.
I know some people are like, it's Thursday, it's in the division, ticks off 2 boxes, they don't like playing. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, this is the one where the last time I will say this during this exercise for as how far I got and then what I had mapped out the next couple weeks, Gil, this was the play this week. This was where I was saving Denver to use for this specific week.
654 remaining entries in Circa Survivor have Denver. So while it's not as stark as dramatically low as that have the Colts left, it's still low-ish. So even more reason to play the Broncos. I'll tell you another one that's low-ish with 658 entries remaining that have the heading into last week that have the Bills available. The Buffalo Bills, 9.5-point favorites at Miami. So only 658 heading into last week had them available. I would consider this. Now, you do have a home game against Cincinnati week 14. You have a road game at Cleveland week 16. But I'd consider this, again, based on the fact that of the remaining 1,769, roughly a third have the Bills available to them. 2/3 do not. So the Bills get a check mark.
Totally with you there.
These last 3, a little more. Carolina, obviously, everybody's got them available. Maybe not everybody, but almost everybody. They're 5.5-point favorites against New Orleans. There's really no other place to use them. Okay. I wouldn't hate it, but, it's the Panthers. There is that.
Right. It's the Panthers, but
yeah.
but that works both ways in Survivor,
That's right?
Like, if you're not using them here, as you've noted, you're probably not using them, so you have to make that decision.
Seattle's a 7-point favorite versus Arizona. Arizona on a short week now. You could play Seattle at Tennessee week 12 or at Carolina week 17. Wouldn't hate it, though, if you played Seattle here. Roughly half of the remaining players have Seattle available. And finally, Detroit is an 8.5-point favorite at Washington. Yes, Detroit is hosting Green Bay on Thanksgiving, and they're at Minnesota on Christmas. Those don't look that awesome, though, right, as a save. They do host the Giants week 12. They do host the Cowboys week 14. I wouldn't hate you if you played this sieve of a defense. The Lions playing at Washington this weekend as 8.5-point favorites with Marcus Mariota at the helm, and 630 entries have the Lions left. So again, only 1/3 have the Lions available. So I'd actually probably throw the Colts into this as the strategic play with the big check mark, even though I don't like the matchup the best.
Right.
The matchup gets an X, but the strategy gets the green check mark.
Agreed there. I think if you're in Circa, I would still be saving Lions, but I get it.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at zero cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.